Thank you again to Kara from Neves Knives for this great logo. What's going on, EDC people, and what is our journey today? It is the wrap-up of the T1, the Kizer T1. I realized that my first part of the review pretty much covered everything I really should have said in the entire review, so I don't have a whole lot to say here. I do want to say, first of all, I've really come to appreciate the lines on this. I like how the handle goes straight with the drop point blade. Same with the I don't know, handle swedge, I guess you would call it, goes with the swedge on the blade. I know a lot of people, I guess, are annoyed or sick of the swirly pivots, but I'm new to this, so to me that's kind of a nice touch. The pocket clip, it's milled, it's fairly easy to get into pocket. It doesn't really eat your pocket too much. I'm sure it's been used a little bit by Neves Knives, but hey. You know, my biggest complaint about it has always been the deployment. You know, you just have to know how to do it. But once you get it down, so long as you don't mess with other knives in between and then kind of forget your finger placement, you get this awesome thwacking opening sound. And for that reason, it's an awesome knife. It's sharp. It's a straight, you know, flat grind. Did I mention it's sharp? It's very comfortable in hand. You know, the only thing that could be a little better actually is the pocket clip. But that's kind of, I'm nitpicking there because it doesn't hurt that bad at all, actually. I've mentioned before, I really enjoy the fact that there's no jimping on this particular knife. I like that I can creep right up on it if I want to. I almost wish that this sharpening choil was a little bit bigger. You know, it's not going to be a finger choil, and that's fine. You don't need to always have a finger choil, but I don't know. I maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that won't last long sharpening wise. But I could be wrong with that. I mentioned many times now, it's S35VN Kizer. This is the maker's mark. From what I understand, it's a German maker. I'll try to zoom in on the name because I cannot pronounce it. Okay. Let's see here. You know, I've shown you guys that this particular T1 has kind of a wiggly back spacer, but it's really of no bother. It doesn't affect anything. You know, the screws are tight and nothing. I don't use a lanyard anyway, not that that would even really probably matter. I give it a thumbs up. I mean, it's a great knife. I'm trying to think of what I didn't mention in the first review that I can mention now. As I said before, I know it's really plain, and for some people that's a blank canvas, as I hear some people say. To me, this is the art right here. I wouldn't change this knife. I mean, if anything, I'm not sure what the material is on the pivot screws or the screws themselves. Maybe some kind of like blue anodization on that's as far as I would go, though. I wouldn't do anything with the back spacer. I wouldn't do anything with the handle. I would allow the scratching and snail trails, if they happen on this particular type of material, to happen. And you know, and it's actually just a really nice blade. It's big, it's basic, it's tall. I don't have my caliper out here to tell you, but I think once again I told you that in the first video. So again, so the deployment was my biggest complaint. The other thing is the thumb stud. It eats my thumb alive. I mean, all that damage you see is from me learning to do this and then doing it over and over and over and over again. But once you get it, man, you got it. Just don't switch knives in between, or else you'll lose it. If you put any pressure on that lock bar, it's not coming out at all. Let's see here. I got some great footage of it. I put some up of it on the last video. I'll do so again on this one. Not the same footage if I can help it, but new stuff. I used it for basic things around, you know, everyday chores basically. Cut down a few, I don't want to say limbs, but stems of things when I was doing some lawn work today. Cut some cardboard actually, because tomorrow's recycling day. You know, I don't have much bad to say about it, except for the deployment. You have to get used to that. You know, and once you see right there, it just, I failed at it, and there we go. But once you get it, it's great. What else can I say? It's I think I've already told you it's on bearings. Let's see if we can. I of course didn't bring my little tool bag out, so you can kind of see the can you see the, like, can you see the balls? And I gotta wipe that gunk up. But a beautiful knife, you know. If Neve's Knives had only sent this one knife, I would have been super impressed with it. And I am super impressed with it, but there are other knives that they sent that make me feel like this one's not the best one that they sent. However, I say that with tongue in cheek because it's a great knife. It's thin. It's you know, it's gentleman or office friendly, I suppose you could say. What does Patty's potato peeler say? You can bring it to church. Yeah, that's it. I mean, here's your stop pin. You know, and a trick that I learned from Birdshot IV or 4 is to use with bearings to take a can of canned air, you know, that pressurized air, and blow out the bearings. Okay, don't take it apart. Just get in there as best you can. Move the blade around if you need to. Use some canned air and blow the bearings out to clean out those bearings. That pressurized air will get some dust out of there and even some gunk, and it really, really, truly does make the deployment smoother. Okay, so that doesn't apply for just this knife. That's for any bearing situation. What else? Yeah, it's a beautiful knife. I'll roll some footage after this. I wish I didn't say so much in the first review because that kind of left this review with not much to say. I give it a thumbs up.